Hey, it's Chris, Liege of Games. Bracket madness, baby, let's do it. So, you've all been waiting for it. You've been clamoring for it. I can tell. Your mouths have been foaming at the get-go, trying to anticipate what sort of weird, delicious matchups I can bring you in terms of the board game head-to-head. Because, of course, I am anything but conventional when it comes to this. So you know what I did? I just put 32 games that are in certain parameters and just randomly assigned them to 16 matchups to do the first round. Now, obviously, let's put a little bit of rules on this because this is a little bit different. This isn't just me taking like the 32 of my most favorite games. There are some criteria to this, and so it's a little bit of a parameter that you need to know about. So the first is that they have to be relatively easy to play and to teach. Now, I'm not looking for things like, Dominant Species Marine, or I'm not looking for campaign games. I'm looking for one-offs that you can play and just be contained in a single setting. So that is a criteria. Also, games that are not going to be too overhead high in terms of actual learning in the first place. I'm not going to be playing War for the Ring or Star Wars Rebellion in a tournament style setting of this, because this is going to be my wife and I playing, and then me going to her afterwards, which one do you prefer, honey? All the time, wink, wink, nod, nod for you guys. So that's going to be sort of the stipulations to go along with it. Now, with that set, I was all set to have like the whole thing pop up and the screen and all that jazz. I couldn't get it to work. So we're just going old school. I'm just going to pull up the pages. We're going to talk a little bit of pros, cons about them. Then in the next week or so, I'm going to play both of them with her, and I'm going to ask her her opinion. And what I'm going to do is I decided I'm going to put it up on the poll in the community section for you guys. And all you have to do is go over to the community section, click the little thing on which one you think is going to win. Now, depending on how many of you actually vote, how many of you actually view this video, I'd like to see a good turnout, a good response to know that this is worth my time doing. Is it more for which one you think my wife is going to pick? Or is it more for which one you would rather pick? And you know what? Maybe I'll just do a poll for both. And then we can compare and contrast as the tournament goes on. I can figure out how to actually get this thing projected on the screen so you don't have to listen to me babble the whole time. And we can see how they vary in terms of what my wife-ish prefers versus what you guys at home prefer. So, without further ado, the first matchup in the first annual Liege of Games Bracket Tournament Challenge. I'll think of a funny name later. Let's do this. Now, weighing in at a 2.6 pound average, 9.06 by 9.06 by 2.76 inches, we have the one and only Space Base. Let's take it to the screen. Look, this is a classic dice game with simultaneous, not necessarily actions, but resource allocation, whether you are the person rolling the dice actively or you're a person waiting their turn. It promotes the idea of less downtime in this game, a la several other games that are doing similar things, Machi Koro, Valeria Card Kingdoms. This is the flavor of milk of that ilk in my house. Now, spoilers on this one. This one actually includes pretty much all of the emergence of Shy Pluto. So take that for what you will. I'm not getting rid of expansions that are already included, but I'm not going to be including other expansions that are not yet included in games in these situations. If you're not familiar, you're rolling dice, taking either the sum or the individual values of the dice, getting those resources, buying something from the center market, rinse, repeat, until you earn enough victory points from doing so to win. You get the blue area on your turn for the numbers you roll, the red area on the other person's turn for their rolls for the numbers that you own. So it's relatively straightforward. It's dice rolling, right? There you go. Now in this corner, all the way from 2002, the undefeated underdog, out of print, Lord of the Rings, The Confrontation. Stratego on steroids. This is your competition. This is a very interesting matchup because this is thought up as a classic, but it's a single two-player game, whereas Space Base is thought of as more of a 2 to 4-player game. So already we've got a very interesting dynamic there in terms of what the game's player counts can do to a game and your feelings on it just from that side of things. This is, like I said, this is Stratago on steroids. Asymmetric abilities, you have what, like 9 or so different guys on each side. You're just trying to win. And the asymmetric abilities and the elegant simplicity of the nature of this game is what is so appealing to many people. Now, this is not the deluxe version. That's from 2005. That's a completely different-ish game with a lot more characters and asymmetry added. And so this is the copy that I have on hand. If anyone else wants to donate a copy of the deluxe version for tournament's sake, I'll send you my mailing address. But I am very happy to have this go up head-to-head with Space Base. So that is what you need to know. Now, the other thing I'll say with this is probably not going to be a one-game-take-all sort of situation, because some of these games, especially the shorter ones, are going to allow for more time to be spent with them to get the same number of plays. Whereas other games we have played before may allow us to have more of a quick judgment. So I'm not going to put a number of plays on this. Just know that you're going to be getting a straight up opinion from my wife, because she doesn't know or care that I'm doing this. But I think it's fun and entertaining. So I want to see how things go. So there you go. That is the first round matchup. I will tease some of the other round matchups in the future very shortly on either the community page, or you know what? I think I'm just going to upload the PDF to my Patreon. So if you really want to know the Liege bracket going forward, I am going to upload it there today, and you can check it out in the section below that links to my Patreon in the first place. So there you go. I told you it was going to be wild and crazy. If you had said, 2 games that Liege is going to put up against each other, this is not what your classical combination is going to look like. So, round 1, let me know what you think. You can tell me in the comment section below. You can play along at home if you want. We'll kind of go as we go. So, that's all I got. Making this one short and sweet. So, check it out. Hopefully you're interested. Let me know your thoughts on both those games in general, because it's cool. It's fun. Something different. Okay. Thanks. Stay classy. See you around. Your moths